Welcome to Alive and Well, the podcast for the new era of high achievers. You're done burning out, and you're ready to lead, work, and live in a rhythm that honors both your brilliance and your body. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a trial attorney turned nervous system strategist, and I've lived the burnout story. I know what it's like to chase your goals at the expense of your well-being. And I also know it doesn't have to be that way. Here, we're redefining success. It's where productivity feels peaceful, boundaries feel like freedom, and energy comes from within. Each week, I'll share practical tools for nervous system regulation, time mastery, and somatic strategies so you can show up with clarity, calm, and confidence in every part of your life. Because you, my friend, were given a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So here's to life and living it fully. This is the path to feeling alive and well. Let's dive in. You guys, welcome to Alive and Well. It's Michelle here, and this is episode 400. It blows me away. 400 episodes. Y'all have been with me the whole ride, digging into the nervous system and burnout and how we build lives that are sustainable and joyful and whole. And it's just been so wild for those of you who've been with us since the beginning. What started as a COVID passion project called just the Motherhood Podcast, and then really starting to focus in on the impact that the state of our nervous system has on how we show up and the evolution of the calm mom, and then now coming at you as Alive and Well. It's just so wild. So what I thought we could do today is kind of distill down 4 of the top nervous system lessons that I've learned after recording 400 episodes, guests on the show, coaching hundreds of women, studying the science. These are 4 of the truths that I wish I had known sooner, because once they landed for me, you guys, everything shift. So before we jump in, just a big thank you from me to you. Without you guys, the show doesn't exist. I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for you who show up, who listen, who put this stuff into practice and apply it and live it out and share it with your partners and your kids. How these ideas are really changing the way you live and you parent and you work and you lead. It's just such an honor to show up and spend some time with you every week. So thank you truly. I know I say it every episode, but I really love y'all so much. Okay, so let's jump into these 4 nervous system shifts that really made such a difference for me and for the women that I work with. The first lesson I want to talk about today is that safety comes before strategy. And this doesn't just apply to work. This doesn't just apply to like big picture things. This is everything, right? How am I going to respond to this email? How am I going to respond to my kids fighting over this particular toy? Strategy for everything, because when our body's in a state of fight or flight, the amygdala activates and it floods our system with cortisol and adrenaline, and it shifts energy away from our prefrontal cortex. That's the CEO part of our brain. That's the part of our brain that can develop strategy. It's responsible for planning and problem solving and long-term memory making. And in neuropsychology, we call it an amygdala hijack. So you can have the world's best planner and time blocking system and, scripts to follow when your kids are refusing to listen to you or like what have you, all the best to-do lists out there, best morning routines, best wind down. I don't care. All the discipline in the world. But if your body, and I'll speak for myself, when my body was stuck in survival mode, my brain literally could not access all of those higher ordered strategies. And for probably all, I would say, of my law career, right? 12 years, I thought I had a productivity problem. Like I would hit a certain time in the day and just space out, like brain fog. I was having a hard time, like even reading things, focusing and getting stuff done. I'm like, oh, it's just that 2 p.m. feeling. But what I really had was a safety problem. My nervous system was braced in fight or flight, and no amount of efficiency could solve the exhaustion that was happening in my body. So that's lesson number 1. That's the big takeaways. Like before you start to think about strategy for anything, reach for safety first. Slow your breathing, right? That engages your vagus nerve. Boundaries, right? Boundaries require strategy. Boundaries around your time and your attention and your bandwidth and your behavior. You have to feel safe in your body in order to express and then hold boundaries that prevent overwhelm, right? Pause, pray, remind your body that you're safe. And when your nervous system feels safe, you guys, then the strategy finally starts to work. And that was a big one for me. I was trying to do it in the wrong order. All right, lesson number 2 for me, and I want to share it with you, is the truth that the body leads and the mind follows. The body leads and the mind follows. Your conscious brain, that part of you that logically knows like, okay, I'm at my house, my kids are home, we're safe, right? No one's trying to break in. I didn't eat something poisonous. I'm not being chased by a lion. Like, I know I'm safe. That part of our brain, guys, is not the driver of your felt experience. If only, right? We could talk ourselves into and out of feeling anything, but it doesn't work that way. Our subconscious lives in the limbic system. It lives in the brainstem, which are constantly scanning for any sort of threat, not through language and words and intellectualizing, and no, through sensory input. This is bottom-up processing. So think of it this way. 80% of the vagus nerve fibers, you guys, carry signals from our body up to our brain, right? 80% of the messaging that's happening in your body is taking messages from your body and sending those messages up to your brain. Only 20% is top down. Only 20% of the messaging going on in your body is starting in your mind, in your brain, and sending that message down to your body. So if your muscles are super tense, guess what? Your body is sending a message to your brain that something must be off, right? You must be preparing to fight or to run. If your breathing is super shallow and quick, or you're holding your breath, same thing. Your body is going to be sending messages to your brain that something is off. If you are sedentary, right? And your body's like feeling something isn't right, you're stressed about something, and you're not moving your body and signaling like, hey, I'm paying attention, I'm actually going to move to try to deal with this stressor, and you're just sitting all day long, that's sending a message up to your brain. If you are hurrying all the time, right? And there's this constant urgency and you're busy all the time. You wake up and it's like, go, go, go. We're late. Get your shoes. Get in the car. We're late. Like your body is sending messages of a lack of safety, threat, stress to your brain. Your body has the louder voice. So if your heart is racing and your muscles are tense and your gut is in a knot and you're having gut issues and, chronic migraines and autoimmune conditions, and you get sick all the time and what have you, your brain is interpreting everything as danger. And this is why say all the affirmations in the world, right? Do all the mindset stuff. Does it help? Sure. But it's a 4-to-1 tug of war. And if that's all you're doing, it's going to fall flat because words cannot override physiology. But when you sway back and forth or sit in a rocking chair, or when you focus on how you're breathing and extending your exhale, or when you put a hand just over your chest, right? Feeling that connection with your body. Those mechanoreceptors in your skin and joints, they do the opposite then. They start to signal safety up to your brain. And then your parasympathetic system activates and it slows your heart rate variability and it calms your limbic system. And I see this every day with clients who come to me and they're like, logically, I know I'm fine. Like, this is the most frustrating thing ever. Like, I know I'm fine. There's money in the bank. There's food in the fridge. Like, my relationships are fine, but I still feel so panicked and anxious and worried about everything. And like, I have this pit in my stomach and this weight on my shoulders. And friends, if that resonates, it's because your body hasn't gotten the message yet, right? Your body hasn't been convinced, and we can't tell it. We have to show it. So the way forward is always body first, and then the mind will follow. If you hear nothing else today, let it be that. Your body leads and your mind follows. All right. Lesson number 3 here on episode 400 is about burnout. And I just want to bring forth this reminder, because this was important to me too, that burnout isn't just about hours. It's not just about how much you're doing, right? It's not just about the hours you're logging. It's actually more about state. It's more about the state your nervous system is in and has been operating in. And when we look at the research on allostatic load, that's the cumulative wear and tear from chronic stress. When we look at that research on allostatic load, it shows that it's not really stress itself that harms us. It's unprocessed stress. It's stored stress that doesn't have a way out, doesn't have a way to release. It's stress that doesn't get metabolized. So when we're in fight or flight all day long, our HPA axis keeps firing, right? It's gotta go, fight or flight, fight or flight. Our cortisol levels stay high all day long. Over time, there's an impact, right? It dysregulates our blood sugar. It disrupts our sleep. It messes with our immune system. It burns out our mitochondria. And we literally have a harder time making energy in our cells. And it's why burnout so often, and this was true for me, it feels like just this bone deep fatigue, right? It's the brain fog. It's the emotional volatility. Like, I can look at 2 people who are working and managing their home and parenting their kids and relatively, active and quote unquote on for the same number of hours a week. And one ends up just depleted and done at the end of the week and the other one doesn't. What's the difference, right? They both worked the same amount of hours per se, but it's whether they allowed their nervous systems to oscillate back to baseline throughout the day. Because when we do that, one of them will recover, but the one who doesn't won't. And that's why the solution isn't always just like, hey, work less. Hey, do less. Hey, take a nap once in a while. Hey, it's not really that, right? It's about expanding our capacity. It's learning how to move between states. Do we need some of that sympathetic fight or flight energy through the week to motivate us and get stuff done and spur us into action and focus us? Yeah, we sure do. But how can we learn to bring ourselves back down at the end of that day, right? How can it be short sprints instead of long marathons in those higher energy states? It's learning to actually get things done and come back to this regulated state. And really, that's the goal, the skill inside Burnout Recovery Blueprint that you leave with. My goal is for us to spend 12 weeks together inside of my signature group program, and that you leave with an increased capacity. It's not like, oh, Michelle told me to, delete and delegate and defer all these things on my calendar. Maybe I will. But for the most part, I want you to be able to handle and hold the things that are really important to you, the things you prioritize and the things that you value, not erase stress. That's ridiculous. And that will never happen, right? Life's going to keep on lifing. But can I teach you to build a body that can move through stress and come back to rest? That is the real flex, you guys. That is the real superpower. And if you've been thinking about joining us inside of Burnout Recovery Blueprint, our next cohort starts in January, which is perfect. Start the year, right? Putting your foot down that you're going to do something different this year. You're going to do something about how you've been feeling in 2026. But what I really want to share with you guys to have you put on your calendar and start to think about and pray about, and however you go about making decisions like this, is that we're going to be having for the first time ever this year a Black Friday sale for Burnout Recovery Blueprint. So we're going to be offering the steepest discounts we've ever offered, with the biggest bonuses and incentives for you to save your spot inside of Burnout Recovery Blueprint in November. And then, have that special holiday time with your families if you're going to be traveling, celebrating, kids are off school, what have you. And then when everyone goes back to school and we get back into the rhythm in the new year, really focusing our time and our attention and our intention on regulating our nervous systems inside of Burnout Recovery Blueprint. Okay, so that's the third one. Burnout isn't necessarily about hours. It's so much more about the state of your nervous system while you're doing your day-to-day. And then the final lesson I want to share with you in this episode, and this might be my favorite. Joy and play are nervous system necessities. Necessities. Joy and play are not extras. They're nervous system necessities. And when you play, when you do things for the fact that they just bring you joy, right? They're fun for the sake of being fun. They bring you pleasure, not because you have to get them done or you have to do them because someone else is expecting you to. When you play, you activate the social engagement branch of your vagus nerve, and that signals to your brain, surprise, surprise, that you're safe. And play, it releases, we know this, it releases dopamine and oxytocin and endorphins, all these neurochemicals that directly counter cortisol and adrenaline. Yet so many of us high achieving women think we don't have time for play, right? It's irresponsible. It's a waste of time. I wish I had time for that. It must be nice. It's frivolous. No, it's not. The science shows us that it's regulatory. It widens your window of tolerance. It widens your nervous system's ability to handle stress without tipping into, overwhelm and shutdown and all those things that can happen. So what does that look like, right? Like the women I work with, they're like, yeah, I get it. I can see how that is a nervous system necessity. What is it? What do you mean? Like, how do I do this? Well, it looks like whatever's fun for you. Maybe it's just dancing with your kids in the kitchen. Maybe it's trying to be more silly or lighthearted, right? Maybe it's being goofy at dinner instead of scrolling through your phone. Maybe it's getting outside and going for a hike or doing a cannonball in the pool or pulling out an instrument or an art set or baking or, what are the things that you used to do when you were a kid that you could just get lost in? Because I know for me, every time I choose play, I can feel my body shift, right? My shoulders relax, my heart rate changes, my connection deepens with my family. And the research backs it up. Play literally rewires your stress circuits toward resilience. Okay, those are the four. Those are the 4 lessons I'm giving you in episode 400. Safety comes before strategy. The mind leads, the body follows. Burnout isn't so much about the hours. It's more about the state of your nervous system. And joy and play are nervous system necessities. Now, episode 400. To celebrate 400 episodes, I recorded something special for you guys. It's a guided somatic meditation for uncomfortable emotions. I know it's kind of like a weird gift to celebrate, but I think it'll be useful. So things like anxiety, disappointment, grief, anger, a lot of these emotions that can just be kind of uncomfortable. And when we don't know what to do with them and we suppress them or hold them in, they cause us to be dysregulated and short fused. So I recorded this for you guys. It's a guided somatic meditation. I think it's about 10 minutes. You can download it using the link in the show notes. It's my way of saying thank you for being here, for growing with me, for learning with me, for walking this journey with me. If any of these lessons resonated in this episode 400, man, if you haven't yet, maybe just share one of your favorite episodes with a friend or share this episode. And if you want to dive deeper, I would love to have you in the next round of Burnout Recovery Blueprint that we start in January in the next cohort. But the waitlist is open. So there's a link in the show notes. Put your name on the waitlist. You'll get early access to registration. You'll get those Black Friday email saying that the savings is available, exclusive bonuses. Make sure you sign up to be on the waitlist for the next cohort of BRB. Links in the show notes. So just thank you again. Thanks for being a part of these 400 episodes. Here's to the next chapter of Alive and Well, and to you building a life where regulation, joy, and presence are the norm. I love y'all so much. I'll talk to you soon.
If you love Mommy's podcast, leave a review.
Thanks for listening to Alive and Well. If today's episode resonated, would you do me a favor? Take 30 seconds and leave a 5-star rating and short review. It really helps to get this show out to other people just like you who could also use the information in this podcast. And if you're ready to take the next step in regulating your nervous system, download my free Nervous System Reset Guide. It's linked right in the show notes. Inside, you'll find simple, body-based practices to help you feel more clear, calm, and connected starting today. Make sure you're following the show so you don't miss out on what's coming next, because you were made to thrive. Fully alive, fully present, and fully well. I'll see you soon.